Ice, we need to talk. New Zealand, they're without a coach. You're not putting your hand up. Who is going to be the man for New Zealand Rugby League?
For me, I know they're sort of looking internally, and there's some options that you sort of spoke about before, Stacey Jones, Nathan Callis, but for me, it has to be Wayne Bennett. I think if you look at a lot of success with New Zealand sides and probably New Zealand Warriors sides, you go 2001, Daniel Anderson, Australian, you go Ivan Cleary, 2011, and you look at Webster now. I think when it comes to rugby league, it's not like the All Blacks where we do the best rugby union, we create the best coaches. I think the best coaches do come from here. So, but I do think one thing that is really important is that they buy into the culture. And if Maguire can buy into a Kiwi culture, I think most Aussie coaches could.
Explain it to me. So Greg Peters, who's head of New Zealand Rugby League, has said, we want someone who's a Kiwi, but we will explore all options. To you, what does that mean? What's so important about that?
I don't know, probably just want someone at the helm that is Kiwi. And probably the best example of that for us is the 2008 World Cup where Stephen Kearney, but he did have Wayne Bennett in his corner. So I think that sort of scenario would be great, or Wayne Bennett surrounded by maybe Nathan Callis, Stacey Jones. I think those are great options. But I think the game is like super technical, super hard, that you do need like a high level coach. And I'm not saying these guys aren't, but I'd go straight for the top and aim for Wayne Bennett.
Because one of the things Wayne Bennett's great at, right? He's good at getting people to go towards one particular task in a super short amount of time. That's what it's always been known for. He's a people guy. That's pretty much test footy's like, isn't it? I haven't played any tests. You have. That's kind of what it's about? You got your senior guys, you got your coach. You're just trying to get everyone together in a short amount of time.
Yeah, like you just like build a culture and build it quickly, and there's probably no person that is better for it. But a lot of the times, like say New Zealand and say the Warriors, I think they've done it very well this year, where they've tapped into the culture, and you can see it like through their content, through their marketing. They use a lot of Māori words now. A lot of times with New Zealand culture, you do have what are they called? They're kind of like a cultural elder, like within the organization, and they teach you about the haka and what it means and all that sort of stuff. So you come in and you feel like you're a part of something straight away. And in New Zealand, they call it Te Iwi Kiwi, which means the house of Kiwis. And if you look at the haka, the way they do it, like a lot of their actions like that, and they talk about like building the post of the haka. So there's a solid foundation, and you bring in all these different ancestors and stuff like that. So when you walk in, it's a cultural experience first, and just the coaches, it's not as technical international games, because in theory, you just have to get everyone together, because once you do the anthem, once you do the haka, you're already up for the game anyway. And you throw in a couple game plans here and there, play to your strengths, and you can get a win like the Kiwis did against the Aussie boys.
Mate, I'm still burning about it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
2014, when you played, it was the Anzac test.
Yep.
So you go in, the haka, how's that? Because it's not the same haka every time. How's that even decided upon? Is that something that you guys have input, or just senior members?
Nah, like it is. So like you have that cultural leader who's within there, and we had a guy who was from Huntly, which is the area, big, strong Māori heritage there, like Lanto Haya, Wairangi Kopu, those guys were from that area. But within that area in Tainui, there's a marae called Tūranga Wāwai, which is the Māori king. At the time was the Māori queen. So there's Māori royalty within that land. And the Kangaroo boys actually went there during their visit there. So they're trying to tap into the culture and the land and understand where it's all coming from. But in terms of the haka, like the Kiwi haka stays the same. It's different to the All Blacks haka. The All Blacks use two different hakas, but each region in New Zealand have their own style of haka. So like you look at Northland, where Dylan Brown's from, they haka in a certain way. Waikato, which is where Hamilton is, they haka in a certain way. And each region has their own style of one. And then you break it down even more, every high school has their own haka too. So they just get people to come in and build it around where they're from and their land. So it's pretty interesting.